Hey everybody, it's me, Jake, from Jakin Off. Thanks for tuning in to another episode, and Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays, all that good stuff. I am joined this week by two very special guests, my good friends, Dorian Debose and Joe Nunnink. Let them hear it. Give them a round of applause. Stoked to have those guys here. You can find Dorian on social media at Verbose Debose. I'll have a link and a username in the description of this podcast. And Joe, you can find on Instagram at Nunnigram, Nunnigram. Again, I will have a link and username in the description of this podcast. As always, you guys can follow this podcast at jakin.off.podcast on Instagram and TikTok, and send anything at all to jakin.off.podcast at gmail.com. I'll take a look at it at least one time. It's a pretty good guarantee. So, without further ado, enjoy the episode, everybody. Have a nice listen to the episode. And also famously jerks off way too much. He talked about this podcast. Yeah, he jerks off a lot.
Well, he's 16,
dude.
So
yeah, like his body's changing.
More.
What was the most time you ever jerked off?
I get like one a year now.
Dude, 1 year.
I get a hotel.
Yeah, yeah.
There's been a lot of
right?
There's been like a lot of sex news actually coming out about the holidays regarding sex. Did you guys know that this is like the time of the year where the most penis like fractures happen?
What?
I'm not. You know what?
Penis fractures?
Yeah, dude.
Around Christmas?
Yeah, penis fractures.
That makes total sense.
Does that mean there's more sex happening, or is it just more dangerous sex?
I think people are trying new stuff for the holidays.
People are getting like, they think that it's because people are like more passionate and stuff that penile fractures rise at Christmas. It's what doctors find.
What the fuck? That's so
dude.
funny.
It's a season of loving and giving, dude. You gotta give.
So what is a penile fracture? Because I'm not sure.
I can show you.
Yeah.
What is?
Take it out. We'll show you exactly.
I don't feel comfortable on your podcast anymore, Jack. I'm fucking.
Dude.
Right here between these two horny meat dogs.
It's like if you like miss the hole or something, and like you fucking bend your dick in half.
God.
Yeah.
While it's hard and it's.
And they said that it usually happens in positions with no eye contact. There's this quote from the doctor. This is a quote from a doctor. It says, "This injury tends to occur during wild sex, particularly in positions where you're not in direct eye contact with your partner, such as the reverse cowgirl."
I was gonna say
reverse cowgirl.
This sounds like a reverse cowgirl
injury. That one's kind of like dangerous,
dude. It is just so funny to think of a doctor like listing all the sex positions that you can get your dick broken in. He's like, well, you have the reverse cowgirl. You have the
wheelbarrow.
driver.
Also, him calling it the reverse cowgirl can't be the clinical term.
Yeah, the reverse cowgirl.
Yeah, he has like the Latin word for it. The reverticus cowgirlus.
But yeah, dude. And then also during this time of the year, there's like way higher instances of unprotected sex happening, dude.
I'm getting so fucking called out right now.
Are you really? This is
last night I had
Dorian snapping his dick.
Did you fracture your dick last night?
I didn't fracture my dick, but like nobody ever rides me because I don't like it. And like this woman was like riding me reverse cowgirl literally last night, and I was like, this feels dangerous.
It is, dude. Doesn't it feel dangerous? Every time I've done it, I'm like, easy.
Whoa, girl.
I'm like, whoa.
It's like you're the horse, but you're still acting like the cow.
Yeah, exactly.
This is like I don't have
because your dick's not supposed to go at like a forward angle.
Yeah, it's got to bend it forward.
And then they have
this was
all
big
the thrust power. All they have to do is do like a quick move to like swipe that thing right off.
This was a big lady I was having sex with. There's a lot of mass.
Yeah,
there's a lot of mass happening.
What kind of bed
penis.
you have? What kind of supports?
Oh, this is a hotel her husband paid for. But this is.
Oh my god, dude. Time out.
Go
so
off,
did he
dude.
watch? Did he want to watch?
Yeah, he watched.
And jerked off?
He was jerking off a little bit.
What are they, dude? What's the
So
weirdest
he was a
thing?
cuck, right?
What's the weirdest thing that somebody has said to you while you're fucking their wife?
Somebody kept on telling her to eat my ass when I was like 21, and I was like, she like didn't want to do it, and I was also like, I'm 21. I know I'm disgusting.
Yeah, my asshole.
Yeah, dude.
I wanna
this will
come
be something you'd have to tell me
100 miles
days
of your
before.
asshole. This is as close as I'll ever get to it.
Oh, really?
God willing, unless you rape me. It's a distinct possibility.
I won't. You'll like it. But you'll be into it when we finally.
So anyway,
No,
so
dude,
last
this
night.
is great banter. I think.
So
When
let's keep
when
this
me
in the
and Joe
podcast.
finally take our relationship to the next level, he'll be into it.
So last night you're in a hotel. What's the hotel? Is it the Marriott? Which
It's a
one?
Marriott.
Marriott on
Nice,
the
dude.
on the
Okay, there you go.
the one
No, in Metcalf. Marriott.
Metcalf. So you got a nice Marriott in Overland Park.
Yeah.
Okay, nice.
That's not bad.
And did you find this person on like Craigslist, or how do you like find this?
I won't answer that question.
Okay, but you have like one. It's like a.
I've had found people off Craigslist before.
Right.
Dude,
okay.
Craigslist, honestly, Craigslist is
Well,
a way underrated website.
I'll
I'll just say,
I
dude,
found
anywhere that you
my
can
car
buy a
on there,
dirt
dude.
bike and find somebody to fuck your wife, that's a pretty good website, dude. You know what I'm saying? Like,
it's a
I
genius.
feel like we really undervalue what Craigslist brings to our society. You can rent an apartment, and
It's kind of a
One-stop
size-
shop.
Yeah, one-stop shop.
it's what Amazon wishes it was.
One of
dude.
my like
Damn.
my like first like experience with a couple, like I was on Craigslist and they put out an ad saying they were looking for the ice cream man, and I'm a fucking idiot, so I'm like, that means they want my popsicle. So I message them and they like come through, and so I'm having sex with this guy's wife, and after we finish up, he tells me, "No, actually, the ice cream man was we were looking for meth."
Wait a minute, sorry. So they put out an ad looking for meth.
They
And then they still let
and
you.
then I-
no,
They
I-
still
no, I-
let you have sex with them.
No, I sent her.
I'm
they
confused
were looking for
how-
meth. I sent him my penis, and he was like, "Yeah, sure."
Oh, a picture of the.
Yeah.
penis.
Yeah. So
Oh, he said, "Sure, I guess we'll take the cock, but we
Yeah.
were looking for meth."
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's the magic
Okay.
of Craigslist, dude. You
That's
start
cool.
off looking for meth, and you end up with a black guy.
That's
at
beautiful.
least they have some flex, because I feel like most people
The
who
ice cream
who
man.
want meth, it's like on their Christmas list. That's really all they want. You know,
Yeah,
there's
yeah.
not a whole lot of like that also works. Yeah.
Like, yeah, you tell somebody you want a sweater, they give you a painting, you're like, "Oh, thank you." Like,
Yeah.
no, they were really chill about it.
Yeah, dude.
They did do crack in front of me.
Any gift for people who just want meth is like when you got socks when you were a kid. They're like, God damn it! Like
Yeah,
I wanted a truck.
It's just this guy's cock. It's fine. Guess we'll take it. That's wild.
We've got
So
a return policy on this.
I like how I would love to like imagine like the conversation between that guy and his wife, like when you send a picture of your dick and he's like, "Hey, I know we were looking for meth, but check. I mean,
He's
look
like,
at
"Hey,
this."
honey, somebody answered the ad for Ice Cream Man." She's like, "Me get some meth."
Dude, were they had to be kind of some rough looking.
She was good looking. He was a bit busted, but
Really?
most people who do meth are not great looking after a short period of time.
you know, I think she was fresh. to it.
Deteriorates.
She was pretty fresh to
everything
meth.
pretty quickly.
Yeah, she must have just gotten
The teeth get weird. Your face get your
like
eyes
sunken in.
Oh yeah, she like they were cool. Like at the end of it, like they start doing like he like pulls out like the pipe and like the blowtorch, and I'm like still a child, so I'm like looking at this like, what the fuck is happening? And he's like, yeah, we do drugs here. What do you think we were doing?
That's so
Right.
funny.
Yeah, that's-
he's like,
sounds like crack.
You just fucked my wife.
And you're judging me for
Sorry,
doing...
I'm getting high.
You think I wanted to watch this fat child fuck
Yeah.
my wife sober?
I put an ad for the ice cream man. You come over and fuck my wife, and then you can't even. Then you judge me for getting a little high on a little crack. Wow,
Yeah, you
dude.
can't even do crack.
You're rude, dude. It's
You
rude.
can't even do crack in your own trailer behind
Capital
your own
R
abandoned house
rude,
anymore.
dude.
Wait, they lived in a trailer behind an
Of course
abandoned
they
house?
did.
Yeah, of course. You can't even do crack in your own trailer behind your own abandoned house.
Yeah, dude, this
Yeah.
country's gone to shit. Thanks, Joe Biden.
Yeah. Thanks.
Thank
you.
you.
Yeah,
Joe
under
Biden.
Donald Trump, dude, they had a mansion.
Yeah.
Yeah,
exactly.
dude, they were like, things
Yeah.
were so much better.
They had 2 campers, dude.
Things are so much better. 48.
Dude,
weeks ago.
I do think things are getting worse, and that kind of brings us to our next thing, which is this security robot that they just
We'll patrol
debuted
downtown Portland. That's so funny.
Okay, we're gonna.
Portland is my favorite story of any American
Yes,
city.
It's crazy
Because it was like, Portlandia 10, 15 years ago, like
Yeah.
the progressive hipster capital of the
Yeah,
world.
yeah.
And then they were like, legalize all drugs. Hell yeah, we're like the Netherlands. And now it's like this, it's like this godforsaken hellhole there now. And it's like, it sucks because it's like every Republican talking point. It's like, Portland kind of falls in line with what
dude.
But this is really funny that they have like robots
this
there.
security robot is. So it takes us a minute to get there, but it's worth it for the context leading into this.
It's also really
security
funny
robot.
that it's a hellhole and there's no black people in it. It's just like
Well, the
it's just
history
like
of-
white
it's
homeless
it's
people.
white hell.
The history,
It's white hell.
The
It's white
history
hell.
of Oregon is like
So there's no
insane.
blues anywhere either,
Dude. They
No,
literally in their
all
state
you got is like
constitution.
fucking the worst country you've ever heard.
No, it's all like Matt and Kim. Yeah. It's Portland. There's no country.
It's like a dude is fucking tweaking on the side, like in the daylight.
Yeah. Yeah, dude. It's white hell. It's just homeless white guys listening to Matt and Kim on the street with a
Yeah.
security
It's the
robot
guy-
shooting lasers at them.
It's the guy freezing to death listening to Sufjan Stevens.
Yeah, Sufjan Stevens is playing, and they have the android dogs like for like hunting them down.
Dude,
That thing looks so evil. That's
It's
crazy.
hilarious.
That looks like something from 2001: Space
It
Odyssey.
looks
It's
like-
That
hell.
looks like a Dalek.
it looks like a fucked up like R2D2. Wait till you see it roll around. Here's this.
Dude, this is so funny.
I feel like if we're gonna make security robots, they have to be hot.
Look at this guy. He's like, He's like, I told you so.
Dude, Fox is waiting for Portland to slip up.
Oh my god, dude, they're having a field day.
Like my fucking uncle watching me do gay sex.
Wait, what happened?
What?
Dude. So speaking of these robots, though, while you pull this thing up, I was in Connecticut for some reason. I was staying like a cabin with some comics and shit one weekend, like 6 months ago, and we went to this grocery store, and they had like a robot just like driving, like a droid, like driving around the aisles that looked like that. We're like, whoa, what the fuck is that thing? And we thought there was this old lady working there, and we were like, what is that? She's like, that's the damn robot. And we were like, sounds like you don't like it. And I was like, I bet nobody likes it. And she was like, nobody likes it. She's like, nobody likes
so
it. It
funny.
stinks.
There's this poke place that Jenny and I go to, and a robot brings your food to the table.
Yeah, I don't like
wheels
it.
out.
Oh, there's this
I
restaurant.
kind of like the robot that brings me. my food.
Poke is cool, but
Yeah,
Yeah.
but it just like somebody sits the food on top of a tray and then it rolls it over.
at the grocery store, it's like,
Yeah, it's like, what's the point of this?
What
Is
does
it
this do?
security?
I used to go to this restaurant that
I
used
really
to have
don't
a
know.
robot bring your food to like I used to go to this restaurant like the robot would bring your food to. It was like so cool. Called Fritz's.
yeah,
Yes,
yeah.
dude, a train.
Dude, it was so sick.
A train is
A train
an
is-
acceptable kind of
Oh,
robot.
It is a robot.
it's a dope ass locomotive.
Yeah, dude. Okay, so
Sometimes it
here's-
misses the table too. It's so sick. It lets you know it's still human.
Partners gathered today to unveil a new mural in Southwest Portland. The goal is to help revitalize and elevate the area and restore a sense of community. In addition to the new art, a modern-day robocop was hired to help guard it. Fox 12's Blaine Aguilar
and
got
a
a first-hand
RoboCop.
look at the new and improved downtown space.
Unico Properties and Portland Street Art Alliance introduced the new 120-foot
This is an
mural
episode
as
of
part of the
Portland,
Ankeny
Dude, it
Triangle
feels
Improvement
unreal.
They should
Project.
bring back
It sits on the
the-
walls
Yeah.
of the US
They're talking
Bank
about this
Coors Tower
mural.
parking garage on South streets and inspired by the neon signage in Portland in an effort to make Ann Kenny Triangle cleaner, safer, and pedestrian-friendly.
Right here I'm standing, I see Mary's neon sign flashing, I see Voodoo Donut sign, the beautiful archway of the Chinatown gates. So we just thought honoring these pieces of public art and neon signs are few and far between these days. They're signs of life. They're signs of community coming together, beautifying and sharing our stories.
Along with support from the city, Portland Clean and Safe cleaned sidewalks, removed graffiti, and picked up trash. Portland Clean and Safe worked with law enforcement and noted a significant decrease in crime over the year.
We looked at reported crime for assault, vandalism, and theft. And in November, we saw a 50% decrease last month than we did the prior 5 months. Crime doesn't thrive in areas that are vibrant and full of people walking, eating, enjoying the amenities downtown.
And to help guard the area is Rob, Portland's first autonomous security robot, utilizing 360-degree, 24/7 surveillance to patrol Big Pink's parking garage. Unico says this is just another way to use technology to improve their security program.
He won't himself do anything except stop and record footage.
Rob may not be able to call 911.
Cracks me up.
Why would they tell anybody
It is the
that?
equivalent. Rob is the equivalent of like a white lady with a cell phone. He is just a white lady with a cell phone walking around and videotaping people.
That's the most powerful thing Portland can imagine.
It's so funny, dude.
Yeah.
It's
Like somebody
it's
unveiled
exactly
that
what
at
you
a
said,
police
though.
board meeting, just like, yeah, this is our Judge Dredd.
Oh my god!
It ties in so together.
I wish they
so
named
much.
it Karen. That's
It
so
literally
funny.
is. And so here it is. If I saw this, if this was anywhere that I went, I would turn it on its side every time.
Dude,
I
that
walked
thing's gonna
past
get the
it.
shit beat
No, I
out.
was about to say, like, there's
They're
no
gonna
way
beat
that
the
thing
shit
hasn't
out
been that thing hasn't been thrown into a fountain like 14
Someone's
fucking
gonna
times
come
already.
all over it.
Dude, so they're gonna talk about it. There is a guy who is
Inside
like
of it?
on the other side.
Like R2D2. There's like a little guy like walking
He's
around.
like on the other side of this. Like,
Watching, he has to watch it all.
Dude, he's like talks to people when they come up and talk to the robot.
No, dude.
Yes, dude.
He's like, hey man, seriously, seriously,
Put the robot down, please.
you're really gonna? Hey,
Please.
put me down.
I don't like this.
One, but he has
I do not
thermal
consent to be
imaging
thrown
and a
into this
two-way
fountain.
intercom.
It's like interacting with a human because there is a human on the other side. If you stop and speak to the robot, you know that there's someone on the other side who's answering your questions and can give you directions, can tell you happy holidays.
No one wants
Big
that.
Pink's security system already includes more than 200 cameras, but Unico says Rob will be hardworking, low maintenance, and an asset to the security team.
This is easier than staffing security, so because he doesn't get tired, he
It's
doesn't get
easier than
cold.
giving people
Reporting in
jobs.
Southwest
Dude, no,
Portland, Paulina
exactly. They're
Aguilar,
like-
Yeah, they have that
Trouble
huge
Again.
homeless problem and unemployment problem.
We spent $1 billion on
easier
a
than
robot that's
staffing
not going to
somebody.
work.
Yeah.
But it's easier than paying two
Doesn't
people.
get hungry, doesn't get cold. You know who gets hungry and cold? People without jobs. I don't know if that crossed your fucking mind.
I love the idea of like in the future they're like replacing all the homeless people with homeless robots.
Yeah.
Just like they're like,
We just really wanted
"No,
to keep that
it's-
crusty feeling of
It's
Portland.
easier because they don't get cold, they don't get hungry. They just are like still there. Like the homeless people are
They're
still
still
there.
Still ask
sad
for
about
We're
money.
not erasing.
They
It's
still
not
want the
erasure.
drugs.
Yeah, it's not erasure, and they still can graffiti, so they're all loaded with some graffiti cans inside.
I like the idea of this robot like rolling up to like a guy on the ground and just like being like happy holidays and then rolling away.
Dude, I know, bro. It's like it is like weirdly dystopic in a way because
The city is becoming very.
they're like we have a robot cop now.
Yeah.
A robot cop too. Like a
We have a
singular robot
dog
cop.
shit mural and a robot cop. The city's back,
dude.
baby.
I love this. I love this picture
Like,
at
what?
the end of it rolling by. Like, what is that behind there? Even you can't even tell what it
The
is.
mural looks really shitty, dude.
The mural looks
No, yeah,
really
like-
good.
You would find that in an alley in the crossroads somewhere.
It's the kind
like,
of
fine.
dude, it's the
whatever,
kind of
but
it's the kind of art a robot would like, dude.
it's kind of, it's art that Rob would like, man.
But I thought that's so funny. You
I don't.
really-
What do
you-
they mean? There's a guy on the other side of it.
There's just like a person who.
So they're
It's-
still
it-
staffing somebody,
Yes.
It's being piloted by a
But-
person.
Yeah.
but it just has to stay. He just gets to stay inside.
Yeah, I don't even know if it's being piloted. I think that like it just like maybe will come online if he encounters somebody.
Oh, so it just has a human help desk.
or he can
behind
check it. Like it's like security cameras, so like he can check it. Like it's like the equivalent of having security cameras that rove around your house, which actually I think was something that I I think it was maybe Amazon or some security company. It might have been like the Ring doorbell people. Were like, we're gonna have fucking security cameras on drones flying around your houses soon.
Dude, those people don't know when to stop.
Frightening.
They don't know when to stop, dude.
They can't.
Yeah, man.
They can't help themselves.
Those doorbell people are they made everybody's life.
I mean, everybody in this, like, half the country's like fucking
jerks off
security
in front of your
freaks
house
is the
right now.
issue.
What'd you say?
Half the country is just security freaks. Like, everybody's like, they're all afraid of everything.
Yeah, people are really scared, dude. My mom.
Yeah, moms.
My mom is like, Overland Park is getting dangerous. And I'm like,
I've been leaving my
fuck
mom's
up.
door unlocked as
Like,
an
you're
act of
so
resistance.
Stupid, Mom. Overland Park is fine.
I totally agree. My mom's neighborhood doesn't even have sidewalks, dude.
They're like, you're not even allowed to live here if you fucking walk places.
Dude, I was like walking around and like one of my mom's neighbors like genuinely looked terrified for a second.
Where does she live?
My mom's lives in Olathe, like near Black Bob, 119.
Why are there no sidewalks?
In her specific neighborhood, like cul-de-sac, there is no sidewalks.
Yeah, they're just. But it's not like this is not like a bad neighborhood, right?
It's a really, really nice
yeah,
neighborhood.
it's Olathe. It's Black Bob.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a very nice neighborhood. We're across the street from Wahlburger. We're pretty.
Oh,
We're,
Wahlburgers?
Yeah,
dude?
we're doing pretty good.
Damn,
Yeah, that's
Donnie,
huge. Donnie.
Marky,
The whole gang.
the Wahlbergs.
The whole gang.
Dude, that's actually funny. I was in I went to Hy-Vee down by Lake of the Ozarks last night. We were there visiting Ginny's dad, and they have a Wahlburgers attached to their Hy-Vee.
That's awesome.
It's very strange. There's a full bar inside of the
Dude, that rocks. That rocks.
And there's a big giant cutout of Mark Wahlberg and Donnie Wahlberg with the burger one.
Yeah.
The burger one's not famous. I don't know his name. I think it's like it said Paul on his shirt. So
Well, I think that's probably his name then.
There's like 8 of them. Aren't
There's
there?
a lot
like
of them, yeah.
yeah.
No,
dude,
he's kind of taking over, dude.
But only
Mark Wahlberg's mom was a whore.
yeah. But only one of those 8 boys could have stopped 9/11.
Yeah,
And it was Mark.
dude.
The same one who could have brutalized an Asian man.
We actually talked about
Yeah.
that a little bit last episode because there was this report that came out that like
Mark Wahlberg could have stopped 9/11.
yeah. It's important. Confirming what he said.
they
I
ran
did the research. If he was there, it would have gone a little different.
They ran the numbers. Actually, you'd be surprised. It would have made
They
a
used
huge...
an AI simulation to simulate whether Mark Wahlberg
We
could
use ChatGPT to
break into
figure
the
out if.
cockpit in time to divert the.
They
plane
do
from-
a simulation. He breaks in the cockpit and like sucks all the terrorists off.
Like, that was better than all the.
They're like,
Yeah.
this is the only way that you were able to stop it.
And
in
then
our
they missed
simulations."
the building narrowly.
Yeah, because they're coming. They're like, whoa,
Yeah.
whoa.
Yeah.
Dude, no, we were talking about it though because this report came out that like over 50% of men believe that they could land a commercial plane in an emergency situation. And, like,
That's the funniest.
we were talking about
Report ever.
Mark Wahlberg was like, I could have stopped 9/11. I could have done it.
How do you think you could land it if nobody? Do you have an instruction manual? Like, there's
No,
like
dude.
5,000 buttons in there.
I think we should like let a few of them try. I
Landing
think
the
it'd
plane is
just
the
be
hardest
fun.
part of flying a plane, I would think.
Yeah.
Taking
Well,
off
landing
seems
it
kind of
well.
easy. Landing it and landing it well at all.
I think that there's a good chance that if you've never flown a plane before, even probably most of these guys have never even looked at the inside of like a cockpit of a
No.
plane. Like, it's so scary.
It's terrifying.
There's so many buttons, dude. It's so many buttons and like
If you were
levers
coaching,
and shit. It's like
all right,
a
here's what
room.
I'll say: if you were coaching me, like if I had like a guy who knew what he was doing,
You don't.
okay, then I couldn't
plane
do
is
it.
crashing.
If you had like a guy who was like
Unless
on the
you
other
know how
line,
to operate the radio, you can't talk to anybody, dude.
I can figure out.
Dude,
a
I
radio.
can't even turn notifications off my phone. So I'm not landing this fucking plane anywhere, dude.
I don't know. I think I'm built different than you two, but sure.
Dude,
Maybe
no, that's
I'm not privy to
exactly-
technology at
That's
all.
exactly what all these guys think. You would die.
Yeah, but I'm better than
You
them. Here's the thing: 50% of us is insane, but some of us have to be right.
I don't know. I don't think any of them have to be right.
If like you ask 100 men, 50 of them think they could. I think 2 of us could probably land a plane.
Could figure it out, but it would be a fucking rocky, and it might be like a fluke freak accident.
Yeah.
Yeah, but God loves me, so
All I know is that if I'm on a plane and they go, we're gonna have to crash land, the pilot committed suicide, but Dorian Debose has volunteered.
Committed suicide.
But Dorian's gonna land the plane. I would start saying my prayers because, buddy, I love you, but I don't think you're gonna land
listen,
that.
I would also start saying my prayers, but that's
hypothetical
just...
of the pilot committing suicide mid-flight.
That's wild.
Did he also? He would have had to kill the co-pilot too.
It's a murder suicide.
He didn't murder
Correct.
suicide in the cockpit.
It's one bullet. He put his head next to his and it went through both. Yeah. Did you hear about the guy who started to go on a tangent? But like, did you hear about the guy in? It was like a Alaskan Airlines flight who he was like riding along with the pilot and he cut the power or whatever, or he pulled he turned off the plane in midair or something, and they had to like turn it back on because he was on shrooms, or he was coming off of a shrooms trip.
Why was he in the cockpit?
He was a pilot off duty catching a ride to his next, but he didn't know if he was dreaming or not because he was coming out of this shrooms trip and he couldn't tell if he was in a dream or not.
So fucking terrifying.
He was trying to wake himself up from the dream, so he did that.
But I really do not like the fact that you can do that. The fact that there is a switch.
Yeah.
It should be hard to turn the power on.
There has to be a. There has to.
It should be like a 14
There's a giant
thing
red
to
button
turn off
that says
the power.
off. Yeah.
Like, oh, don't hit it. Don't hit it. Like,
actually,
that's insane.
yeah, we couldn't fit this switch anywhere on the board. It's just on the floor by your feet. You have to like watch out where you.
I guess that's how I would try to land the plane. I'd be like, oh, there's an off button right there. Off is landing.
Yeah, I wouldn't do that because I'm a brain genius, unlike Corbin. But
a brain genius. He has brain geniusness.
There's two kinds of people in this world.
Yeah.
Boy, there really are.
Oh, dude.
That was a great story, Jake.
Yeah, I know. The robot shit is like crazy. This was wild. So like,
not an NFL player.
No, this guy. His name is Darian Harris, and
he plays for the Patriots.
Didn't he die last year on the Bills and came back to life?
No, that guy literally plays running back for the Rams.
Dude, this guy was in prison for 12 and a half years for murder.
Oh, Plaxico Burress.
But dude, he got released recently because the witness that like made the entire case was legally blind. And so the eyewitness like they did a police lineup. This is how this guy got like put in prison. It's insane. They were like, we're going to do a police lineup. And he picked this guy. And then it never came up in the entire court case or anything that this dude was literally blind. He could not see.
Sometimes they say legally blind, but you can still see stuff. But
you can't put somebody in prison.
He wasn't Ray Charles.
I mean, that's
blind.
the entire purpose of being legally blind.
Yeah, dude. They're like, you at a legal level can't see shit. You're not allowed to like testify in court. Like legally, you are blind.
Legally.
It's in court.
I guess the law would
recreationally I can
take
identify
precipice there. Yeah.
It's so funny though because in this article, this guy, they interviewed the blind guy and he was like, it's not like, he was like, my medical history is not anybody's business. And it's like, dude, what?
It's like you incarcerated a black
guy's
man.
life.
Dude, it's insane that
he's like, listen, we've all incarcerated a couple black guys. Just because I'm blind doesn't mean
legally I shouldn't have done it. Recreationally is why I did it. I got him incarcerated recreationally.
Recreationally, I have perfect vision. Legally, not so much.
Legally blind, dude. Can you imagine being this dude like in prison? Just like
no, I'd go kill the guy who.
I'd be so fucking mad every
It'd be
day,
so easy
dude.
to kill him. He wouldn't even see you coming.
Yeah, he really wouldn't.
You just sneak up behind him.
People are like, are you that guy? And I was like, wouldn't you like to know?
Yeah. He's like, who are you? I can't make out your shape.
He's 30, dude. He went in when he was 18. He had no criminal history or anything.
What did he go in for? What was the crime?
Murder.
Oh, well, what if he did do it and the legally blind guy was right?
I don't think that's the case, dude.
I mean, even if he did, 12 years is enough.
Yeah, dude. Honestly, like, I feel like...
he's probably a good guy now.
I feel like I'm willing to let this guy walk
like,
if
even
it means
if he
that
did
we
do
don't... The only guy who saw him do it was blind. I feel like we gotta let him go. Dude.
You gotta let him go, dude.
I just think that it's like...
I just think if you
it's
go
like,
into
all
jail when you're 18 and you get out when you're 30, you're probably just like a good dude now.
Well, dude, the reason why he actually did it is like he did like all the work to like overturn his case. Like, so he
himself?
was in prison, was like, I fucking didn't do this.
Okay, so he was like,
Yeah,
I for
dude.
sure did not do this.
Yeah. I
That
mean,
would
like,
suck so hard.
he had no criminal history. It was literally like 2 months before he graduated high school.
Wow.
Did he graduate while he was in jail?
And then this blind guy to this day is like, I saw what I saw.
Is he an old guy? Who's the blind guy?
Yeah, he's like,
Some old white guy?
because he was sentenced to 76 years. I don't know. It
Jesus
doesn't
76?
Christ.
Was it a brutal murder? What was the murder?
It was just at a gas station. Somebody got shot.
76 is crazy, dude.
Yes.
No,
I think
yeah.
if you kill a
For
guy,
18
12 years is enough.
Yeah. I mean, I think so too.
Yeah.
But I think that like
I think it's
76 years is too much. 12 years is too much for a guy who didn't kill a dude.
Yeah, I think
If
Sweden
a guy
is
didn't
like
kill
the
a dude,
rule.
I think 3 years is fair.
I know Sweden
12
has
is
like the
too
rule
bad.
where like the most they'll ever give you for like any crime is like 15 years, and then they have to like manually extend your sentence if they want to incarcerate you like past that.
Yeah.
So like there's like this I think it's like Anders Breivik, like this like Swedish serial killer,
Yeah.
like who like went to an island like murdered a bunch of children, but every like 15 years they have to like extend his sentence because he's never getting out of Swedish jail.
Yeah,
but, like,
yeah.
Because he's like the one person they'll do this to.
Yeah.
Like most people don't
Swedish jail seems like the easiest jail to get out of, though.
Yeah.
It sounds like it's made out of chocolate.
get out. It's not like there's a door.
Yeah.
Welcome to Swedish jail.
They like.
I've seen it, man. There's like fucking. It's made of wood and there's a bunch of windows.
Yeah, it's made out of wood
Yeah.
and candy canes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a gingerbread house.
Please do not throw rocks at the glass windows.
Yeah. Yeah. They give you rocks. But
They're like,
asking
oh, this is the shovels that we give to all the inmates to build tunnels. It's not right to stop them from
I
building
did a lot of
tunnels.
hard time in Swedish jail.
They're like, what happened?
they
Like,
taught me to make
I got a
toffee.
degree, actually.
Yeah,
I got a degree in computer science.
I got a degree and
Got married, got a wife.
Got a wife. He's like, I actually married the warden of the prison. We did a whole prison
yeah,
celebration.
it wasn't actually really a prison. It's more of like a town because they believe in sort of community.
It was
and-
kind of like second college.
yeah. It's more of a campus.
We were fraternities. There were
Oh,
sororities.
yeah.
Are we gonna stay friends after second college prison?
But that's not what happened to this guy. He went to actual bad prison.
He went to
Yeah,
American
he went
prison.
to black jail.
Yeah.
Yeah, oh, I've heard that's one of the hardest ones there is. God, I'd love to go to Martha Stewart jail if I had to pick.
Dude, Martha Stewart jail, the food's insane, dude.
Dude,
the
I
Rock
bet
is
it's
like
pretty
Cupcake
good.
Island.
Now these guys are kind of like the opposite of that dude. These are three
Dunkin'.
Donuts employees who pulled guns on a lady who asked to talk to their manager.
Dude, that fucking rules.
I think it's sick.
That's
dude.
so funny.
They're
But all
innocent.
three of them pulled guns at the same
Yes,
time.
they all started showing
see
her
them again.
handguns. Yeah, these are the guys.
That fucking
These
rocks.
are the heroes.
Those are American heroes.
No, but
so
they
pulled guns on a Karen.
Dude, this guy and his girlfriend, 41-year-old customer and his girlfriend sought to place a food order, but encountered rude behavior from an employee. Requesting to speak with the manager escalated the situation, leading to the employees, along with two colleagues, displaying handguns.
I love that their
And then here are the
colleagues like
guns.
took their back on that. That's
yeah,
really
dude,
cool
no, I
of
think
them.
it's sick.
And they
Workplace
all had
solidarity, bro.
guns.
Yeah,
Where
man.
was this Dunkin'? I must know.
It was in El Paso, Texas.
That's so funny.
And I
yeah.
think that the people in this Dunkin' Donuts, like the customers, probably should know better than to ask to speak to somebody's manager in Texas, where everyone
it's the
has
same with
guns.
like any most fast food places. If you go and you ask to speak to a manager, you deserve to have like at least two guns drawn on you.
Yeah.
I did it.
That's so
yes.
funny.
That's true though. It's like leave them alone, man.
Also, what are we doing putting Dunkins in El Paso, dude? This is the problem. It's from
This is why they're coming.
It's from Boston. The further away it is from Boston, the more it's like the less. It's like any business, like whatever. If it's
Yeah, it's like your children are
Whataburger,
straying
like
from
those
God.
shouldn't be on the East Coast or whatever. They're like ratchet out there, dude. They got to be like where they're from. It's like it gets crazy.
Yeah, you don't want culture. Joe doesn't want cultures to mix. dude.
Boston Dunkin' Donuts can't be in El Paso, dude. It's already.
Joe's a regionalist, dude.
Yeah, I'm a regionalist.
Stick to your own kind.
That's right. That's right. Or fly in Boston guys to run the Dunkin'. I'm not
Yeah.
saying that they won't have guns. It's already so volatile in Boston when you put one in El Paso. It's like easily going to have guns.
Yeah, if they did this in Boston, everybody would have been cool with it.
Yeah, because it's still
The
pretty.
manager would have also come out and pulled a gun in Boston.
Dude.
They wouldn't have pulled a gun, but they would have grabbed them by the shirt and like thrown them through the window.
I was so.
They're
stoked.
big, like with knuckles out there.
Yeah, they like
Yeah,
the
the big
like
hand
to
violence
beat
people.
With your hand,
A
dude.
lot of hand violence.
Hand to hand.
It's as much gun violence there is in Chicago. There is fist violence in Boston. The same amount of deaths. People just have bloody knuckles everywhere.
So funny. I'm trying to dude. They're always like, yeah, people in Chicago experience as much gun violence as soldiers in Iraq or whatever.
They always say they're like
the
it's
equivalent to hand violence. I'm trying to think. I can't.
what they do say that about Chicago. They're like every day in Chicago is 9 Iraq wars and bullets.
I do think that's probably whenever people say that, I'm like, you kind of calling Afghan veterans bitches a little bit.
Dude, yeah,
You're
no, they
you're
are.
saying a child
Yeah,
in Chicago is braver than the troops,
No, 100%, and I believe.
and they're right. But
Yeah.
but I don't think a child in Chicago is very brave at all.
Well, I think Dunkin' Donuts employees in El Paso are brave.
They're fucking rocks.
I think they stood for their rights.
The only thing that would have made this cooler is if they would have finished the job. That's what I think, dude.
And served them the coffee.
We
They're like, that'd be insane. If they pulled guns on them and was like, by the way,
They're like,
we're gonna toss in an extra one for you.
sorry about the misunderstanding. We threw in an extra fucking donut for you. You fat fuck.
You big fat
Get the
fucks.
fuck out of here, dude. We're getting down to the nitty gritty here, but I got to talk about. So, I don't know if you guys know who John Snyder is. He's the guy who played one of the Dukes of Hazzard brothers, and he recently posted that Joe Biden should be hung.
Wait, from a tree?
For treason.
Oh,
It's so
okay.
funny,
Yeah.
how, because when Obama was president, it was more understandable because you're like, oh, people are racist. But now with Joe Biden, it's like the most middle of the road, boring old white guy. But people still are hanging on to all this vitriol.
Dude, yeah.
Oh, 100%.
So they're
It's
just saying the
insane.
same, and you're like, what are you talking about? It's
Dude,
basically-
yeah.
I'm not saying I think he's a great president or anything.
I
It's
really
crazy.
think he's the best president we've had in the 21st century. I think that outside of his stance on Israel-Palestine, I think that he's been pretty exceptional as a president, and
Dude,
also
you're
pretty
gonna get so
bipartisan.
canceled for
Yeah, you're
saying
gonna
that,
get
dude.
canceled,
Kick
dude.
my,
You're gonna get
Wow.
whoop
so
my
canceled,
ass,
dude.
America.
Wow.
You're
But
saying
he's
that you
so,
like Joe Biden is the one thing you're not allowed to say anymore.
I
dude.
No
think
one says that. Literally no one.
I'm on the record as saying he's been unjustly depicted by the media and should get out of the way for his successor. But
I agree with that.
he is objectively, we'll look back and be like, he was a pretty good president.
I think it'll be a middle of the road,
Yeah.
totally fine. I don't think he'll be a
He
bad
passed the
president.
biggest infrastructure bill in the 21st century.
Have they
I
done
think-
anything with that yet?
I
Has
think
it happened yet?
I
Have
think
they built
that
anything?
there are some underrated aspects of Joe Biden's presidency.
Yeah, that's
but
true.
ultimately, I think his legacy will be what is happening right now with Israel.
Yes, I do think that's true. I think
And
he'll go down. I think the same way that
Which
people
is
look
kind
back
of
on Lyndon Johnson.
It's kind of
like,
unfair.
he-
Well, I guess he does. I mean, we are funding Israel, so that's
Yeah.
So that's maybe
No,
not,
yeah,
but
he
they're
gets
gonna do
what he
that
gets for
kind of
that.
anyway, right?
Yeah,
I mean, so
that's-
it's like,
No,
Yeah,
yeah. I mean,
no,
Trump's stance on Palestine is that he would have finished the job. So.
Yeah, dude, Trump
and
would have.
plus, one thing that people forget is Donald Trump literally moved the U.S. embassy to Israel into Jerusalem, which is one of the honestly, dude, in the last 10 years is one of the key things that you could point to. Be this is something that absolutely basically made it so that it's we can't. It makes it so tough to decouple ourselves from Israel. The fact that he did that, they could still do it, but it's it basically gave them a blank check. It was us being you fucking have, we'll back you no matter what.
Yeah.
I think
It's
with
fucking
Israel
crazy.
Palestine, may the best man win, and I'm all for whoever prevails. Right, guys?
You'll never work in Brooklyn again,
Next
Joe
door.
Nunnink. You'll never work in Brooklyn again.
Oh, I was getting so many awesome spade spots in
Well,
Brooklyn.
dude, this guy who used to drive around with the Confederate flag on his car said that Joe Biden should be hung. Can you believe it?
Did he give a reason?
No, because of treason, dude. He stole the election.
Oh, right. Oh, yeah. People are really upset about that.
I was so shocked to learn that a man who played
Played an
a
insane
Confederate
whose
racist.
car literally used to whistle Dixie.
And it had these stars and bars on it.
I mean, I think it's great he's going back to his roots on how to solve problems.
Yeah. Why try to reinvent the wheel? Go back to how I was raised.
It just all comes. So
You know the song "Beer for My Horses"?
Oh yeah.
You know that part in that song where he's like, "We used to string up all them bad boys."
Yeah,
like,
it's about lynching.
Right.
I was like, "Oh my god, that bad boy is inward."
Yeah, chill out, Willie Nelson. Come on.
It's
Smoke some weed, man.
Because my friend, like a white friend of mine, played that song for me in like college, and I was like, "Oh, this kind of bangs." I was like, "Oh, that really does not bang at all. That's really bad."
That's so funny. Yeah, I don't think I knew about that because that was a song that my
Are we
parents.
sure? Also, are we sure that he
or
means
whatever.
that, or is that just like, oh,
He
Like, does he-
said
did he
we
really
used to
mean that?
lynch people. We used to lynch people in my youth.
he said lynch?
in the
Or
South.
did he say
We used to string up
string
those
up
bad
the bad
boys
guys
in the South.
You sure he wasn't doing?
He's referring
more of
to
like a round 'em up, like
Well, it's like
cops and round-
vigilante justice, but it's still lynching though. It's like the same thing. It's like you know, like there's like basically like it's like dude, like
It's like
obviously,
white guys who rob banks and every black person.
Yeah, exactly. Like that's what I was gonna say. Is like there were like people outside of black people that were lynched, but it was like always
Thank
like
you. No, I'm
some,
kidding.
it was always like
Yeah, I mean,
like
non-black. Of course, non-black people were lynched,
Yeah,
but the
it's like
non-black
not-
people deserved it.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
always like
The 100%, yeah,
a
it's
guy
true.
who like murdered a family in cold blood or something like
And
that.
a black guy
Yeah,
who ate
guy
at
who
the
robbed
wrong
a bank.
diner.
Yeah, white guy who robbed a bank and a black guy who crossed the street the wrong way.
Yeah, he just looked too happy.
Yeah.
he was whistling.
His swag was too tough.
I think Willie.
Dude,
I think he knows.
So
what he's
Joe, did you see the I wasn't planning on talking about this, but then something really funny happened. So Donald Trump, like last week, gave a speech where he said that immigrants were poisoning the blood of the country,
Jesus
which is
Christ.
crazy.
Yeah, wildly
It's
racist.
like straight,
Yeah.
it's like
so racist.
1920s racism.
Yeah.
It's like
Fucking Woodrow Wilson.
Yeah. Dude, straight up Woodrow.
but
Never
then
want to go full Woodrow.
No.
he said that, and obviously nothing very funny about that to me. Like it seems pretty bad. But then this I read this thing about this Vanity Fair article that came out in 1990 about him and his then wife Ivana, not to be confused with Ivanka.
Yeah,
who's
so
his daughter.
the one he buried on Mar-a-Lago, right?
Yeah, after she mysteriously fell down the stairs. That no one talked about, by the way. They're like, body found dead at bottom of stairs. Trump buried and stole assets. Like on Mar-
Yeah, but
buried
anyway,
on
the
Mar-a-Lago.
Clinton body count is what needs to be discussed.
No one talked about that at all.
Dude, so
But anyway, go ahead.
it turns out in this Vanity Fair like piece that was on him and his wife, she reveals that he has a copy of a bunch of Hitler's speeches in a book by his bed all the time.
By his bed?
Yeah,
Dude, that is... It's
reading
one
the-
thing to have some copies of Hitler's speeches, but by the bed. By the bed's at next level, dude.
Yeah. Before you got here, me and Jake were talking about it. Like, I think that, like, for a lot of, like, rich people, like, they kind of, like, have to believe that everybody who's ever successful deserved it. And so for, like, people like
Right.
Hitler who, like, objectively suck, they're, like, fascinated because they, like, have to find a reason why he was
Yeah.
successful. Instead of just being like, oh, sometimes people don't deserve the things they have.
Yeah, dude. So he tried to, like, in the article, he tried to like cover it up by being like, well, the guy who gave me that book is Jewish. And so I like pulled this quote because it was so strange. He said, actually, my friend Marty Davis from Paramount gave me the book. It's not mine. Gave me a copy of Mein Kampf, and he's a Jew. And then they reached
What the
out to
fuck is going on with Marty Davis?
Yeah, dude.
Well, no. They reached.
What's going on at Paramount?
They reached out to Marty Davis, and he said, "I did give him a book about Hitler, but it was My New Order, Hitler's speeches, not Mein Kampf. I thought he would find it interesting. I am his friend, but I'm not a Jew." He's not Jewish.
He goes, this is so funny. He's like, first of all, it wasn't Mein Kampf. It was just his speeches, which is also pretty weird.
Yeah.
And he goes, and
Number
I'm not
one,
Jewish.
let the
I
record
don't
reflect
like
I'm not
Jews.
Jews.
That's why I gave him the
I'm
speeches.
not on their side. I'm not on their side.
Dude, it made me laugh so hard because I'm like, bro, this guy is like, and in this actually,
How
in
did
this,
you come out the worst looking person in a story about Donald Trump having a Hitler book next to his bed? How are you the villain in that?
Yeah, that's crazy,
dude, but he said he's like, even if I had the books, which I don't, even if I did, I wouldn't read it.
Well, he also can't read.
Yeah.
So I don't believe that he's reading a lot of these. But I think that he is someone who would symbolically have them near him because he thinks that they're important.
Yeah.
So the fact that they're by his bed is terrible.
Dude,
So you told me like, if he was
see
around now, if he was a younger person now, he'd be the kind of person who'd have like a copy of The Prince on his bookshelf that has never been opened, even though it's like 100 pages long.
Yeah, exactly. You would keep it nearby as a symbolic gesture that he's never read it.
Yeah, dude, it's like how people put a bunch of books behind them on like Zoom podcasts or whatever.
You guys ever read The Art of War?
By a Chinese guy?
Yeah, by Sun Tzu.
No.
By Chinese guy Sun Tzu.
By Chinese guy.
I forgot to say his full name. Chinese guy Sun Tzu.
I've never read it, but my brother. Before you say what you're gonna say, my brother is like a ops manager for this company in Kansas City, and like his managers will just he calls it Starbucks leadership, where they just like reference The Art of War, and they're talking about like they're like holding a coffee and they have like never like done anything with their hands before, and they're like, to know your enemy is to it's like, what the fuck is this?
Like literally, I made my mom buy me The Art of War when I was like 12, and I like read the first part, and the first part, like the preface has like some interesting insights, and you get to the actual book and it's like, do not fight in a swamp. Fighting in a swamp.
It's like actually about like
actually
war.
isn't that applicable? Yeah.
If you need 100, you need 100 pesos for every cavalry.
So fucking funny, dude. I love the idea
high ground only works in fair weather.
You as a child, child thinking you're gonna get some leg up on like all your peers.
Yeah,
I'm gonna know how to
so
attack.
You know what? I'm just walking past the
That's
forest. Like,
so
I hope
funny.
there's not archers in there.
Just trying to apply it to like managing a Dunkin' Donuts in El Paso.
Well, yeah, if they'd read The Art of War, they would have known: know your opponent, know yourself. They're gonna have 3 guns. They're gonna pull them all.
Yeah.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah, there is no manager at the fucking Dunkin' Donuts in El Paso.
Didn't know
Just-
herself.
You're talking to him and he just pulls out the gun.
Yeah.
The gun's the manager.
Guys, we made it to the end of the podcast. We did it.
Already?
It's been 55 minutes.
I was just having such a good time.
I love you guys. It was
I
a
love you
great
guys
time.
too, dude. By the way, I said this before we got rolling, but I've never felt so cozy between these two
Yeah, dude.
big boys. Oh, look at this little big boy.
Right before Christmas, get some boys in.
Yeah, you gotta have a little bit of
Little sandwich.
time with the boys.
That's right.
Where can people find
Cozy
your
for
stuff
Christmas.
at?
Dorian, you want to start?
I'm on Instagram at Verbose Debose. I'm also on Twitter at Verbose Debose. I'm also on TikTok at Verbose Debose. I'm on Reddit at your boy Debo21. I'm on
What's your
Facebook
OnlyFans?
at Dorian Debose.
What's your Craigslist profile?
I'm on. I will send my OnlyFans. We had to bleep it out. My OnlyFans is Joe Nunnink 1488.
Yeah, mine's
1488.
mine's Lynn Navertil 69. You can
It's just photos of Lynn's feet.
Yeah, I have a lot of photos of Lynn's feet. Find me on Instagram at Nunnagram. You can find me on YouTube at Joe Nunnink Comedy. You can find me on TikTok at Joe Nunnink. And check out my podcast, which is I modeled after this one. It's called Echo Chamber Pod with Joe and Trent.
Yeah.
Oh, I thought it was called Joe and Off.
Joe and Off.
Joe and Off.
Yeah, that's not a bad. I should
Joe
do
and
that.
Trenton off, dude.
Joe of Arc.
Joe of Arc. We'll workshop it.
As always, you can follow this podcast at jakin.off.podcast on Instagram and TikTok, and send anything at all to jakin.off.podcast at gmail.com. I'll look at it at least one time.
That's pretty
If you
good.
send it there, I'll look at it once. That's my guarantee.
That's pretty good, guarantee.
That's the Jakin Off guarantee.
That's more
baby.
than I look at most emails.
I love you guys. Thanks so much for listening.
I love you.
I love you.
I love
Merry
you.
Christmas, boys.
Bye-bye.
Merry Happy Holidays.
We did it.
That was fun.
It was a great time.
Yeah.
It was really funny.
I had a great time.